So I work for Queensland Health at the Gold Coast Public Health Unit. My job title is an environmental health officer. Currently, I'm working on food safety for the upcoming Commonwealth Games. I'm writing policies surrounding that and also developing audit tools for other environmental health officers that will be doing food inspections at the Commonwealth Games. In environmental health, there isn't really a typical day. Every day is very different. It's really varied. I'm currently working on a project, but the next day there could be a food poisoning outbreak that I have to attend to. So each day when you go to work, you're never quite sure what's going to happen. It's always exciting. I most like the variety of my job. Every day is different. I go in and there can be anything happening that day. It could be a food poisoning outbreak that I'm going to do food sampling from. I could be writing policy another day. There's a big mix of desk work as well as getting out in the field, going to businesses, meeting members of the public, meeting other professionals. So the variety is probably the thing I like the best. It's really important as an environmental health officer to be able to keep an open mind. Essentially, a lot of the role is in investigative work. So you're going in looking for a source or something that's made people sick. It could be some off food. It could be a pollutant in a waterway. So you really need to keep an open mind about everywhere that could have come from without walking in with blinkers on. It can be challenging dealing with people who might think you're there to give them a fine or you're there to give them a hard time. It's very important to develop good spoken and written communication skills so that you can diffuse a situation with someone who doesn't really want you there. And you can generally turn that around into a good situation that becomes an education for that person. You can explain and you can help them to do what they're doing more safely. Previously, I used to work and manage restaurants. Over a few years of doing that, I saw a lot of badly managed restaurants with very poor food safety. That prompted me to become an environmental health officer. However, once getting into the field of environmental health, I found that there's a whole lot more out there than food safety. Which I now find a whole lot more interesting than food safety. So yeah, there's a lot to learn. I chose this career path essentially because I was interested in food safety and I wanted to help people produce safe food. That said, once I got into environmental health and discovered all the other areas that we look at, it got a whole lot more interesting. So I could be doing a controlled drug inspection at a pharmacy one day. I could be writing policy for the Commonwealth Games food safety. I could be attending the release of a pollutant into a waterway another day. So all those sorts of things really make up a really broad area of interest for me now. So I did a Bachelor of Public Health with a major in Environmental Health through Griffith. That is an accredited course through Environmental Health Australia, which allows you to work within government as an environmental health officer. The transition from uni to my current job was quite quick. During my degree, I had the opportunity to meet quite a lot of environmental health professionals. During my placement, I met a lot of people and got to know a lot of names and get my name out there as well. At the end of my degree, we had a presentation that industry and government attended, so environmental health government professionals attended. So I had applied for other jobs, but that was where I met my current boss at the presentation. After the presentation, I went and introduced myself and explained who I was, what I was looking to do, and that impressed my current boss enough that they offered me a job. So they offered me a contract to start with, which has turned into a permanent position. I think it's important for people to realise how varied a field environmental health is. I went in thinking all about food safety. Peers in my class went in thinking that it was all going to be about specific other environmental areas. Really, it's so varied that you need to sort of open your eyes and look at all the other things out there. That will come to you as you go through, and you'll find an area that is more interesting to you than you might have previously thought. But it's a lot more varied than you might initially think. The environmental health world, where it's so large and varied, it's also very small. Environmental health professionals all seem to know each other. So at any opportunity, it's great to go out there, get your name out there. So any industry seminars or so on, go and shake people's hands, tell them who you are, what you're about. Especially in your placement, certainly get to know as many people as possible, and show them that you're a diligent professional type of person that wants to work in the field, that has something to offer the field of environmental health.